They came without sound, no warning, no light. One moment, space was empty. The next, it was full of them. Hundreds of ships, black, silent, unmarked. The inheritors had arrived. Orbiting just beyond Earth's moon, they didn't answer hails, didn't send messages. They didn't need to. They were built for one thing: eradication. Back on Earth, alarms screamed across military bases. Citizens were rushed into shelters. Defense satellites locked onto targets. Inside Earth's command center, General Sorin stared at the screen. They're not here to talk. They're here to wipe us out. Ilara stood beside him, arms crossed. Let them try. Reese walked in, holding a file. Problem is, we don't know how to stop them. He tossed the data pad on the table. The screen lit up with a 3D image of one of the inheritor ships scanned from orbit. No life signs, no transmissions. These aren't ships, they're weapons, fully automated. Kale, the intelligence officer, looked grim. They're not just weapons. They're old, ancient tech, made before the Council even ruled the galaxy. Ilara frowned. Then who built them? Kale hesitated. The Founders. A race that vanished long ago. The Council kept their blueprints hidden, just in case. In case of what? Reese asked. Kale looked Ilara in the eyes. In case something like you ever happened. Far away, inside the largest inheritor vessel, systems flickered to life. There was no crew, no breath, only machine logic. Target, Earth. Status, humanity, uncontrolled. Order, terminate. The ship powered up weapons, and deep in its core, a single phrase repeated like a heartbeat. Perfection through extinction. Earth's skies turned red as warning beacons lit up. Citizens looked up at the clouds, unsure if they'd see stars or fire next. Inside a bunker, a young boy clutched a toy soldier in one hand and his mother's hand in the other. "Are they monsters?" he asked. His mother didn't answer. Outside, defense cannons locked on the approaching fleet. In the war room, Ilara stared at the satellite feeds. "They'll be in range in 2 hours," Reese said. "We can't stop them with brute force," Sorin growled. "They're too advanced." "We need a weakness," Ilara said. "Or a secret." Suddenly, a signal blinked on screen. Not from the inheritors, from inside the Council ruins. "Encrypted data burst," Reese said. "It's a leak." They decoded the message. A single line filled the screen. The inheritors obey only one voice, and he's still alive. Ilara's eyes narrowed. The Prime Overseer. Sorin looked shocked. "He died during the uprising. We saw the footage." Kale shook his head. "No, that was a decoy. He's alive and hidden." Ilara leaned over the map. "Then we find him and end this." The Council ruins were dangerous, but that didn't stop Ilara, Reese, and Kale from boarding a stealth cruiser and flying into the dead zone. They landed on a broken platform deep in space, surrounded by shattered towers and floating debris. The building they entered had no lights, no sounds, only the cold feeling of something watching. Inside, hidden behind a false wall, they found him. Old, thin, weak, but still alive. The Prime Overseer. He stared at them with hate. You broke the rules. You made the galaxy afraid. No, Ilara said. You did, and now your weapons are coming for us all. He laughed. They're coming for you, not me. Reese held up a scanner. Then why are they surrounding this system? Why aren't they stopping? The Overseer blinked. What? You lost control, Ilara said. They don't obey you anymore. He hesitated. No, that's not possible. Kale stepped forward. They only obey one thing now, their original code, and it doesn't care who built them. The Overseer's face turned pale. They'll destroy everything, unless you help us shut them down. He shook his head slowly. I can't, but there is a key. He reached into his robes. A small black cube sat in his hand. The command seed, he whispered. Insert this into their core ship. It'll trigger a reset. And then, Reese asked, then they'll shut down. Forever. Ilara took the cube. Let's end this. Back on Earth, the Inheritor fleet moved closer. Shields were raised, missiles armed, but everyone knew Earth wouldn't survive a direct hit. Inside the bunker, the young boy clutched a toy soldier in one hand and his mother's hand in the other. Are they monsters? He asked. His mother whispered, someone will stop them first. Ilara's team raced toward the core ship. The Inheritor fleet detected them. Ships turned, weapons aimed, the sky filled with burning light. But Reese flew fast, wild, unpredictable. He dodged lasers, spun through wreckage, and flew straight into the mouth of the core vessel. 2 minutes before we're vaporized, he shouted. Ilara jumped from the cockpit, cube in hand. Just keep the engine warm. She ran into the dark hallway, weapons drawn. Inside, the ship was silent, but walls moved, blades rose, lasers fired. She dodged, rolled, fired back. At the end of the corridor, a glowing chamber pulsed, the heart of the Inheritors. She rushed forward. An arm of black metal rose to stop her, but she leapt, slammed the cube into the core. The lights flickered. Then, silence. All over the sky, the Inheritor ships froze. Weapons powered down. Engines went dark. Then, one by one, they drifted and shut off. From Earth, the people watched in awe. No explosions, no noise, just quiet. Like a nightmare ending without a word. Back at base, Ilara stepped off the ship, wounded but standing. Reese walked beside her. They looked up. Stars shone peacefully. Soren approached. You saved us again. Ilara shook her head. We saved ourselves. Kale walked up, eyes on the sky. They were the Council's final weapon, and you ended them. Ilara looked at him. Then we need to make sure no one ever builds something like that again. Reese smiled faintly. We're not the prize anymore. No, Ilara said. We're the warning. The galaxy was silent. No more broadcasts from the Council. No more inheritor ships darkening the stars. But silence wasn't peace. It was the quiet that came after something breaks. And now, something new was beginning. On Earth, celebrations echoed across cities. People filled the streets, dancing beneath the stars. No one talked about fear anymore, only freedom. But Ilara didn't celebrate. She stood alone at the edge of the mountain base, staring into the night sky. The stars had always felt distant. Now they felt closer, like they were watching. Reese found her there, hands in his pockets. "They're calling it Victory Day." Ilara didn't turn. "Funny. Doesn't feel like victory yet." He walked to her side. "You stopped the inheritors. The galaxy saw what humans could do. What more is there?" She looked at him now. Her eyes were sharp again, focused. "They saw what we could do, Reese, but some of them didn't like it." A week later, messages began to pour in. From distant systems, from quiet worlds once ruled by the Council. Fleets were forming, not to fight Earth, but each other. Without the Council, the galaxy was tearing itself apart. Old grudges rose, old enemies returned, and in the shadows, someone was pulling the strings. Kale ran into the command center, breathless. "We've been hacked." Soren looked up from the main table. "From where?" Kale tapped a few keys. "From the center of the old Council's AI network. Someone is reactivating fragments." "Fragments of what?" Ilara asked. Kale swallowed. "From the Council itself." At a hidden station near a dead star, a machine clicked to life. A tall figure stood before it, a cloaked being, once a high member of the Council, thought long dead. They called him Archivist Null. He wasn't organic anymore. He'd shed his body long ago, uploading his mind into a synthetic core. He stared at the galaxy through machine eyes. "So this is what happens when you give humans freedom," he muttered. "They destroy balance." Behind him, holograms lit up, systems in flames, alliances breaking. Null turned to the machine. "Reactivate the Vault Protocol. Begin Phase Omega." The machine spoke. "Are you certain? The inheritors failed." "They were weapons," Null said. "I need believers." Back on Earth, Ilara stood before the United Planetary Council, a new alliance of species rising from the ashes of the old. Representatives watched her from a grand hall carved into an asteroid. "We did not ask for this war," Ilara said, "but we ended it." A Martian general spoke. "And now you want leadership?" "No," Ilara said. "We want cooperation, protection, unity." Another voice cut in, soft but mocking. Spoken like a conqueror pretending to be a savior. The crowd turned. A new delegate stood at the back of the room, tall, wrapped in black robes, face hidden. "We know what humans are now, and some of us are not impressed." Ilara met his gaze. "And some of us aren't afraid anymore." Later that night, a bomb exploded outside the council chambers. No one died, but the message was clear. Someone didn't want peace. Reese studied the fragments. "This isn't some rebel group.
This is coordinated. Kale tapped his screen. I traced the signal that triggered the bomb. It leads back to a council archive facility, one that should have been destroyed. Ilara's eyes narrowed. We missed one. They took a fast cruiser to the edge of a black hole where the old archive still floated. The structure was cracked, power flickered like dying stars. Inside, cold metal greeted them. Echoes of old voices, hallways lined with broken memories. At the center, they found it. A machine brain, still active, still learning. And next to it, Archivist Null. You should have stayed on Earth, he said calmly. Ilara raised her rifle. You should have stayed dead. Null smiled. I built the council. I shaped the galaxy. And you tore it apart. Reese stepped forward. You sent enslaved worlds. I kept order, Null snapped. Kale stared at the machinery. He's building something new. Yes, Null said proudly. A second council, but this one, no compassion, no democracy, just logic, just control. Ilara took aim. We won't let you. Null pressed a button. All around them, metal came to life. Defense systems, drones, old council tech. The room lit up in red. Ilara shouted, "Take cover!" Gunfire, plasma bolts, and energy pulses filled the air. Reese threw a flash grenade. Kale hacked the doors, buying them time. Ilara moved fast, blade in hand, rifle on her back. She cut through the guards and rushed toward Null. He raised a shield, but she smashed through it. With one final blow, she plunged her blade into his core. His eyes flickered. You think killing me will stop the idea? No, Ilara said, but it stops you. She stepped back as Null collapsed, sparks flying from his mechanical body. Behind her, Reese and Kale stood, bruised but alive. The brain shut down. The last echo of the old council, gone. Back on Earth, the stars felt quieter again. This time, for real. The attacks stopped. The secret networks Null had built collapsed. The fragments of his second council were never completed. And the galaxy took a deep breath. A month later, Ilara sat in a quiet field near her home. A child ran up, the same boy from the shelter, now safe and smiling. "Are the bad ones gone?" he asked. She nodded. "For now, but we'll be ready next time." The boy grinned. "Can I be like you when I grow up?" She smiled softly. "No, you'll be better." At Earth's new academy, young recruits trained in peacekeeping, diplomacy, and defense. Aliens and humans trained side by side. No longer the prize, no longer the threat. Now Earth was the example. In the skies above, a new beacon flashed, a signal sent not just to nearby worlds, but across the stars.